welcome to yet another episode of Absurd Arguments, where we take absurd things and argue about them. My name is Matthew, and I'm here with my good buddy Nathan. Nathan,
Hello.
how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Matthew. How are you doing?
Are you sure that you're doing great? Because last time you said that and you lied. And so I just want to make sure that you're not just saying the same thing over and over again.
Well, I'm I didn't really necessarily lie. I've just had some interesting experiences this past week.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, I was if it's cool with you, I was thinking I know our primary thing is to argue and I wanted to introduce a new segment.
Okay.
Yeah, I call it Which is the Worst? Which is worse?
Mm.
Which is the one that is the most bad?
Which is worse works for me.
Okay, which is worse? And in this segment, I have some weird experiences I've gone through this past week, and and it got me thinking which one is the worst. And so what I'll do is I will say two scenarios, and you tell me out of those two scenarios which is the worst one, and then just so we're still on topic with our podcast theme, I will try to argue the other one being worse.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, first one. Which is worse, receiving a bunch of phone calls from spammers and telemarketers, or receiving no phone calls at all?
Spammers and telemarketers. I hate them. I get those calls all the time. But luckily for me, I still have my East Texas phone number, and so anytime the same area code pops up on my phone, I automatically know it's a spam caller. But it still annoys me to death.
Yeah, I still have a Georgia number, so I can weed those out pretty easily. But I
Hmm.
don't know, man. Just get no phone calls at all. It's kind of a downer.
Sounds like a good day to me, honestly.
No, I mean, sometimes it's just nice. You get a phone call from a friend and you go, cool, for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm just going to be chatting with this friend of mine.
I mean, if it's a friend, yeah, that'd be good. But since it's obviously not, it's either nothing or spammers and telemarketers, then
Oh,
I
well,
think there's an obvious winner.
um, okay, we'll disagree to disagree because that's our
Understandable.
podcast theme. Okay, next situation, all right? Um, so that one was just a general thing, but this one, I went and saw a horror movie a couple days ago, and I know you
Okay.
don't like scary movies, you
I
know.
don't.
But this one's called The Black Phone, and it's based on a short story written by Stephen King's son or whatever. But anyway, I go to this movie, and it's pretty scary. It's a good scary movie. Uh, but as I'm leaving the theater, I turn around, and there's this couple, and they brought their little daughter with them to the movie.
What? No.
Uh-huh. No, for real. And she looked about maybe 8 or 9 years old, okay? And so I followed them out of the theater, and the dad, he goes to use the
Creeper
rest.
over here.
Huh, I'm not a creeper. We were going the same direction. He goes
Sure.
he goes to the restroom. I also go to the restroom, okay? And he gets done doing his business before me, and I go to wash my hands, but I'm watching him. He goes past the sink out the door without washing his hands.
Oh my.
Yeah. So which is worse? Bringing your daughter to a scary movie or not washing your hands after using the bathroom? After
All
seeing
of
this.
these are all of these are incredibly stupid. Oh my.
No? Which
I
one is
thought
worse?
I thought Oh my gosh, you're just wasting my time, which I guess is on brand for this podcast if you really think about it.
Matthew, you're just
Um,
sad because you don't pay attention to people in real life as I do.
I would probably say, oh no.
Yeah, careful here, buddy. Which
You
is
put me in a
worse?
difficult I would say taking your daughter to a horror movie because you can always wash your hands at home in the comfort of your own home. Plus, you know exactly what your soap smells like because you're the one who bought the soap.
You sicko. Clearly, the correct answer is not washing your hands after using the bathroom. I mean, come on, you know? Look, the daughter could get therapy later on in life to deal with her issues from seeing the scary movie, but
Oh, no, dude.
those hands, those could touch anything.
That's ridiculous. Alright, what's the 3rd one?
Okay, the third one. Okay, so this one happened today. I went out and I had to go to town to run some errands, and I was thirsty, Matthew, and so everyone knows if they drink Diet Coke that the best Diet Coke comes from McDonald's. Like, no lie, it just is so spicy and just hits hard. Okay,
Sure.
so I go to McDonald's. Okay, and it's a long line for whatever reason at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and so I'm in the line at McDonald's. It's hot, but I get to the first window, and this big guy's there taking the money. Um, and as I'm sitting there, he strikes up a conversation and tells me how badly he wants to take a nap. And he goes on and on and on about how he hasn't gotten any sleep the last week and a half, and how he's tried everything, drinking sleepy time tea, drinking coffee and Dr. Pepper, like all sorts of things. Um, and he
Yeah,
just
that'll
hasn't.
do it. Caffeine, that'll help you go to sleep for sure.
Right. Yeah. I didn't understand it either. Okay. So it led me to this as I was driving back. Which is worse, being stuck in a drive-through line, um, and not being able to talk to anybody or do anything, or being stuck in a drive-through line and having to talk to the cashier at the window the whole time?
I'll be honest,
Mm-hmm.
being stuck in a drive-through line and not being able to talk to anyone.
Really?
Yeah. I enjoy picking at the drive-through people. One of my Some of my favorite videos on the internet are people that drive up to um like Taco Bell or McDonald's or any fast food restaurant. They ask a question. It's like my favorites are uh Raising Cane's. They drive to a Raising Cane's. It's like, hey, it's a great day for chicken. Do you want some? It's something like that, and the person just goes yes,
Hmm. Yeah.
and just sits in silence. Those are some of my favorite things, and so um, and there have been times where I've been in the drive-through line and I pull up to the little speaker and they say, like, again, Raising Cane's, they always make their drive-through employees say like ridiculous long line stuff. And one of them's like, hey, 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 it's a great day for chicken today. And as soon as they finish that, I go, man, that's a lot to say, isn't it? And it always throws them off guard. And it makes me so happy that they're just like, oh my gosh, it's a real person.
Well, okay. See, this is where I disagree with you. I think, have you ever worked a drive-through before?
I have actually when I was working at McAllister's.
Okay, and how long were you at McAllister's working a drive-through?
Half a year,
Yeah, okay. So, and plus, I remember you telling me back in the day that wasn't a real drive-through. Okay, here's the thing.
which is correct.
I have worked at a drive-through at Chick-fil-A for many years.
Mm.
I was at Chick-fil-A for 7 years, and yes, it was fun chatting with people at the window, but there is nothing more peak awkwardness than standing there waiting for someone's food to hand to them as you struggle to think, how can I chat to this person so they're not miserable? Now, if it's as miserable for the cashier, it sure as heck is miserable for the person too. It's just it's just awkward. You're just sitting there having to speak to this stranger. All you want is your food. You're not there for a convo. You're there to get some grub and go on your way. So I don't know. I think that's the worst part, having to sit there.
Either way, someone's gonna find enjoyment out of it, and the other person might just endure, like you said, the most awkward thing ever.
I mean, now
So,
don't get me wrong. I enjoy talking to customers and stuff like that too, but I'd rather get them their food so they can get out of there and do what they're supposed to do.
Well, here's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to continue on with this episode.
Good. Yeah, that was the end of my segment, which is worse. And
Perfect.
I thought it was fun.
Yes. So after our last episode, again, thank you so much for all the feedback I've been getting. It's really cool to see so many people just, not just, our wonderful friends and family. Y'all are great. You give us so many suggestions, but just seeing other people just say it's pretty funny, and so that's been really fun. And so, keeping in this mood of fun, we're moving away from holidays. We've got This is episode 4, and we've done 2 episodes over holidays. And
Crazy.
so we're finally moving out of that, and we're moving towards summer vacation at large.
Nice.
And we had a ton of fun doing the 3 questions with the 4th of July episode. So we're just going to do 3 questions again. And
Yeah.
so we've got those. But Nathan, how did you do your research for this episode?
Oh, man, my research was so extensive. We rolled the dice. I looked over the options, and I was shocked that I had this one. And honestly, I think it'll be the hardest research I've ever done.
Oh, what is it?
I had to do no research at all.
Oh,
Yeah. So
nothing at all. So like
nothing.
you couldn't even like talk to anybody about it, do anything with this knowledge. You just like,
To be
well,
fair, complete full disclosure, I did mention one of the questions to a sibling of mine, which I will go over later. Uh, she did not help me with anything, but it will come into play later. But yes, I didn't mention it to anybody. I to be honest, I didn't dwell on it either. Which is unlike me. So this is all improv, baby. What was your thing? What research did you have to do? Because I kind of forgot.
yes, I was given the uh, option of using Google, but only what I could find on the second page of Google.
The second page?
Indeed, the second page, which I didn't click on any of the links on the first page. What I did uh, most times was I would type in the search thing and I would just scroll down to the bottom. I wouldn't look at anything, and I would just go hit the second page. And some of them were helpful still, which is kind of disappointing, honestly. But we'll go over that. I didn't use anything from the first page of Google.
Okay.
I looked at just some of the article titles once, and none of them lined up with the second page of Google. So all the different articles I have come from the second page of Google.
Awesome. Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's cue the music.
All right. Are you ready to go?
I think so, Matthew. Our first question: did you for real
Let's.
do that?
I absolutely did. I've got to crack open a good cold Pepsi with Messi on the uh, on the can
You would
and just
get
get a good sip.
you would get one with soccer. You traitor to America.
Absolutely.
Anyway, our first
And
question.
this also goes out to the guy who told Nathan that I am inferior because I drink Pepsi. So this sip is for you.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Xander for saying that. You psychopath, Matthew.
Anyways, so
Yeah, our first question is, which is better, going to an amusement park
mm,
or going to a water park? It's summertime and people are going to one or the other. So Matthew has the amusement park side and I got the water park side. Uh, would you like to start?
absolutely. Um, I have 2 web articles here, and the 2 of them discuss 2 very different things.
Uh
Um,
huh.
this first article comes from Trip Savvy, the website Trip Savvy, and their tagline is "Vacation like a pro."
Ooh, I want to do
And
that.
so this was updated on June of 2019. And would you like to know the uh, article title?
Yes, I would.
7 top Texas theme parks you will not want to miss.
7 top Texas theme parks. Great. Yeah, let's go through a couple of these and I will destroy each one.
Absolutely. And so, actually, on this list, there are a couple of water parks, which was very disappointing. But the ones that they talk about that are not water parks, they actually give uh, more pomp and circumstance to, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And the seventh one, we'll start off with that one, is actually a water park in San Antonio called Morgan's Wonderland.
Oh,
And so it made the
yeah.
list, but barely.
Way to go, Morgan. Your Wonderland is on the list.
Oh man, you should do that. So here we go. Starting from the top, we've got the number one, according to Trip Savvy.
Yeah.
The top Texas theme park is Fiesta, Texas, which is also in San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
And it is a Six Flags brand theme park. And it is just over random stuff in Texas. And so the article says San Antonio's Six Flags Fiesta, Texas offers the only floorless roller coaster in the Southwest, plus over 100 rides,
Floor.
shows, water park, and more.
Wait. Oh,
Look for the park's special events such as a Mardi Gras festival and the huge 4th of July celebration. To take everything Fiesta Texas it has to offer, visitors usually have to spend more than one day at this popular theme park. And so I have been to Fiesta Texas, and I have to agree, it's really good. The roller coasters there are super fun. I almost threw up on one of them because I had nachos and decided, yeah, I'll just go ahead and this was when I was in middle school now, so it's been over 10 years at this point, and so little middle school Matthew ate all these nachos and is like, sure, let's go straight on a roller coaster. That was a terrible decision.
yeah.
I had to sit out for about 20 minutes with just so much stomach pain.
Did you not hurl though? Did you hurl?
I didn't. I
Oh.
I barely made it, but I did make it.
Okay. Just a second.
Of
You've
course.
jumped forward way too much. You got to slow down a bit. Give me a chance to respond to certain things.
Of
Okay,
course.
first off, a floorless roller coaster?
Please don't ask me what that means. I have no idea.
Okay, Matthew, it's got to have a floor. Like, is this suspended in space somehow?
Oh no.
That
Oh gosh,
freaks
I
me
have to
out.
look. Dang it, you're making me do research in the middle of
No,
the episode.
you don't have to research it.
This
We
floorless coaster, and now I have to go to the second page.
floorless coasters. It
Oh, there was
sounds
Wikipedia. That would have helped, but here we go. Um, Here is Floorless Coaster Archives on coaster101.com.
uh-huh.
Um, it's just a bunch of pictures, and they don't
Uh
have floors.
okay.
I don't know what this
I
is.
don't know what it is
I
either.
don't either.
A
Oh, I guess it's
roofless
just that you're just like sitting in a suspended. I don't know.
what, like
I
a
don't know. It doesn't have a
Superman
floor.
coaster? Okay,
I don't know. It
anyway,
doesn't have a floor.
there's one. There were other things I thought about too, but now I've forgotten them. So, slow down a bit.
Good. You got it.
Okay. Yeah, floorless coasters. What's another park on that list?
All right. So Six Flags Over Texas, open year round. Six Flags Texas is one of the Texas original theme parks and offers ride shows and more to Dallas area residents and visitors. There are kids' rides and thrill rides like Batman, Catwoman Whip, and Dive Bomber Alley, which soar 16 stories through the air at 60 to 80 miles per hour, close to real skydiving experiences. Anyone who enjoys theme parks must visit the original Six Flags Over Texas theme park. What do you think of
Okay,
that?
look, I get it. You're trying to send out recordings so that you can apply to be an auctioneer at a rodeo. I get it, but you got to chill out.
No, wait. Have you ever been to a rodeo before?
Yes, when I was
Are
a
you
child.
sure?
Yeah.
When did they do? When did they do?
at a
What?
cattle show, at a ranch off. I don't know what they're called, man.
Okay, okay. A ranch off?
Rodeo was the first thing that popped in my mind.
Okay, yes.
Auctioneer's there.
Okay,
He's like, who's gonna think that this horse wins? I think it's gonna be
okay.
Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is gonna beat this horse, which is Elvis Presley, or whatever. Chomping at the
Yes, those are
bit.
horses,
Yeah,
famous horses.
they sell the horses to the fans afterwards. I haven't been to a
Okay,
rodeo in ages. Why are you calling me out like this?
I'm just trying to make sure, man.
Okay, so
Um,
with this park, this is Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington, right?
that is correct.
Now you've activated my trap card, Matthew. Um, See, I got to be honest with you a little bit. I
Uh-huh.
accidentally did some research. Accidentally.
Well, folks, that's it for our episode.
No,
We can't make
I
another
didn't
episode again
cheat.
because we've already gone against the rules. We're
No,
4 episodes in, and
no,
Nathan's already decided, "No, screw the
I
rules. I
didn't
have
cheat.
money."
Okay, so I was watching this person I like to watch on YouTube, and he this is so sad. He was watching a Watch Mojo video. Okay.
Wait. This dude who you were watching on YouTube was watching a Watch Mojo
Yeah, he's pretty
video.
funny when he responds to them, okay? But
Okay.
one of the videos he watched, okay, I swear, this is just it happened, was he
Okay.
watched one of Watch Mojo's videos of top 10 haunted amusement parks. And
Haunted.
yeah, shockingly, Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington is number 7 on that list because there's some ghost there.
Having been to Six Flags um over Texas multiple times, um I haven't seen a ghost.
Yeah, well, you weren't looking close enough.
Yeah, fair point, fair point. There are plenty more of the amusement parks here that I will not go over because mainly because I haven't been there, so I don't know how to argue for them. But the other two were actually really fun. There was plenty of things to do, lots of variety of the rides, and I mean that's what you get when you go to an amusement park. Now, here's a question though:
Yeah.
how do you prepare for and enjoy an amusement park?
No clue, Matthew. Just spit it out.
Well, I'm glad you asked that because
I
WikiHow has come to the rescue. So, step one for preparing to enjoy an amusement park, I kid you not, step one is plan your visit.
duh. Okay, great.
Step two is buy your tickets ahead of time if you can. And step three is find out the hours of the amusement park will be open to plan your visit. And so
Um,
they assume that people are just going to walk up to, let's just continue on and saying Six Flags Over Texas. They're going to walk up to it at 3 a.m. because they want to go ghost hunting, and then they realize, oh snap, we only did research, but we didn't buy tickets ahead of time, and we also didn't realize that Six Flags would be closed at 3 a.m.
See, that's when you see the ghost, Matthew. You go when it's not open.
Yes, but then if you try to get in the park, you can be arrested for breaking and entering.
Do you not know how to like climb a fence? Like you're not breaking anything. You just climb the
You don't.
fence.
It's still illegal. That then you're just trespassing.
No, all you're doing is entering. You're not breaking anything.
you're still you're still breaking the law. And then the last step for this first section, planning
Uh
your
huh.
visit, is really good. Have a plan.
Oh, well, that's what we've been doing.
So this WikiHow article is bonkers because it's just like only an idiot wouldn't do any of these things. Like number one, for part two, deciding what to wear. So WikiHow is not only going to tell you how to plan by telling you to plan, but
Yeah.
it's going to just tell you how to decide what you're going to wear. You don't even have to think.
Yeah. I mean, well, I also didn't have to think about my research for my position.
It's so much. And then we finally get to part 3, choosing what to bring.
Yeah.
And there's so many things here. What step 4 is probably my favorite. Make sure you have enough money on hand. And the
Oh,
picture
thank
they've
goodness.
provided is a dude with a credit card.
Huh.
And
Well,
so what they're saying is bring a credit card because you've got thousands of dollars in the pockets of your hands. So who cares? That's
Yeah.
money you totally have. So spend it away.
Heck yeah.
Gosh. This dude's got a picture of pills in his hands.
What?
He's got 2 pills that he's about to pop in his mouth. And it says, "Bring relieving pills if you think you'll need them."
Honestly, you needed them that one time you went and ate all those hot dogs.
But I didn't.
Okay.
And then part 4, enjoying your time in the park.
Oh, I was about to forget to do that.
Absolutely. It's one thing to not plan and this wonderful article to tell you to, "Oh yes, I do have to plan my visit." But then you get there and you're just like, "Oh man, I'm just not having fun." "Oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to have fun."
Right.
So that's what I found in a nutshell for my amusement parks. They're great places that obviously need a plan going in. So, my dear friend Nathan, what
Yeah.
have you found in your in just your incredible amount of research you've done?
See, since I've done no research, you might think, Nathan, you obviously have nothing to say. What a joke. See, we're about to travel down memory lane with baby
Oh no,
Nathan. We're gonna take child Nathan by the hand and say, "Show us the past." Um, and we'll go on a journey together. Okay.
nobody said that though.
I'm saying that to my younger self. Starting off, I've had miserable experiences at amusement parks because I'm a very big dude and I can't ride much of the stuff. One time, one time we went to one of those rides where it just takes you way up in the air and then brings you back down, and and I couldn't do it 'cause it's too big. Um, Other times, let's see. One time I went to Dollywood with my parents and a friend of mine. And this friend of mine, well, see, back then I hated roller coasters, Matthew. I mean, I still hate them, but I hated roller coasters. And this friend of mine also said, "Yeah, I hate roller coasters too, man. They suck." And so I was like, "Cool, we're in good company." And we get there, and my dad is like, "There's this roller coaster called the Tennessee Tornado, and it has 3 loop-de-loops, Matthew, 3 loop-de-loops."
Oh
And,
man.
it's a pretty terrifying looking coaster, and so,
Mm.
mentally, baby Nathan was like, "You know what? I I don't wanna go on this coaster, but I will leave it to my friend to decide, and I will blame him for our decision, and, if he says yes, I will go, but if he says no, I will not." Because clearly I knew the answer, Matthew. Guess what he said?
What did he say?
He said, "Let's ride this stupid coaster," and we did, and it was amazing.
Fun.
But for the sake of this podcast, it was awful. Also, there was a girl I knew in a youth group back in the day. She said that she had a friend, or was it herself? Anyway, she said she knew somebody who went on one of those loop-de-loop coasters and
Mm.
they got stuck upside down,
Ooh.
right in the middle of the loop-de-loop.
That's the part of the thrill of the ride.
No, it was bad. They were stuck like that for like an hour.
All right, so you obviously hate amusement parks.
I do.
So what's so good about a water park?
A water park, man, is so much fun. You have the thrill of slides and water and other things, okay? Let me
What are these other things? I am very curious to know.
let's focus on the slides, okay?
No, I have to know what are these other things. Slides are that we can understand slides. We can understand the other thing you said. What was the second thing you said?
Slides, pools, and,
Oh yes. And
occa
other things. What are these other things that make
okay,
the water park experience better than the amusement park experience?
okay. So, um, sometimes they'll have a big old mushroom, and out of the top of the mushroom spews this water. You know you please tell me you know what I'm talking about, like, you've seen one of those things, right?
Nathan,
Sometimes
when
they'll
was the
have
last time you went to a water park?
it's been so freaking long. I haven't been to a water park in ages. But younger Nathan has pleasant memories of water parks.
And mushrooms that spit out water out the tops.
Ooh, oh, here's one.
Okay.
Lazy rivers. It has two
Mm.
of my
Mm-hmm.
favorite words in it, lazy and rivers.
Man.
Okay, yeah, so back in the day, my family had like this, I don't know. There was a local resort and in the mountains of North Georgia, and my family had like a summer pass to just go to the pool there. But at the pool, they had the huge water slide, and we would go down this huge water slide, and it was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, water slides are fun, and you find them at water parks and pools, and so they're pretty great. Let's see, what other memories do I have of water parks? Hmm. I have memories of going down lazy rivers, man. Those are fun. You get on an inner tube, and you just let the water take you,
So
and you just
I've
chill
I've
and
got a
vibe.
question. I've got a
Yeah.
question for you, Nathan.
Uh-huh.
Um, what what about a water park is more attractive than an amusement park?
Are you sure? First of all, everybody's in their swimsuits, bucko.
Oh gosh.
So if you
You know,
use the word
you're not doing a good job.
attractive,
You're not doing this whole a good job of this whole I'm not a creep kind of thing.
you I'm not a creep, I swear, but you
Then
did
change the
say
way that you said they're in their swimsuits.
you did say, "What's the more attractive?" Why would you say it like that?
Have you been to an amusement park in current year?
In
Women
current year,
and
in
tons of
2022?
dudes, current whatever it is. There are so many women and so many dudes that are like, what's the smallest amount of clothes that I can wear and still be
Yes.
considered appropriate? And the answer is a t-shirt and shorts. That's my answer. But you know what their answer is? They
What?
dress like they're going to a water park, and it
Yeah.
disgusts me.
R Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was doing a podcast with a pilgrim here, with one of the
Look,
Puritans.
Look, dude, modest is hottest.
Look,
I've lived by that. Whenever I go to a pool, I always have a t-shirt on, but that's only because I'm pasty white and I don't want to use that much sunscreen, and so I wear a t-shirt.
hey, well, good news for you, buddy. We live in a society now
Mm.
where body positivity is king. And since, you you can go to a water park shirtless, Matthew. It might not be a good idea because you're a ginger, you know. Sorry for the ginger reveal.
I can't.
Um,
Gosh,
but but the thing is, I am eager to reveal the fact that I'll go to the water park in a Speedo.
oh no,
Yeah. I'm willing to do that. We'll
no.
go to the water park.
Stop talking. Do not put this image into my mind. Oh, it's there.
You
Oh
can't
my
erase it, Matthew.
gosh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right,
My
what?
final point about water
No,
parks.
that was your final point. We are moving
Oh,
on.
can I have
We
one
are
more?
moving on. No.
One more, just in case you
We're
edit
running
out
real
everything
short
else.
on time, man. We got to make this quick then.
Okay, final point. Um, there's water at water parks, and water keeps you cool during the summertime. There you go. Our next question. Our next question is, which is better, going on a road trip or having a staycation? Being a tourist in your own hometown. So, Matthew, which side do you have?
I have that I am going to go on a road trip.
Very cool. Okay,
Indeed.
why don't you start us off
Well, I started off last time, so we'll let you go.
then? Golly, I have nothing. Okay, let's see. Staycation. Look, the thing is, sometimes gas is so expensive. That's
True.
one of the primary things you need for a road trip is
True.
gas to fuel your vehicle. So you could like not use as much by just exploring your hometown. See, when you're in your hometown, you usually just go to a few places. Maybe you're religious, maybe you go to church. You go to your job. You go to Taco Bell. You go to McDonald's.
Do all of these things fall under the religious category?
Clearly you have a problem. You're going to all these fast food places. You need to
Oh, I
stop.
have a problem.
Yeah. Shut up. So you have all these things you go to, okay? Sometimes it's fun to think like a tourist. Now, if you need assistance with this, you can invite a family member to visit you or a friend from far away.
Oh,
They'll help you see your hometown in with new eyes, with a fresh perspective. Maybe you haven't gone to the local Olive Garden, but they see it and go, "Let's go to the local Olive Garden."
do they say it in that way?
Maybe. Um Let's see, for example, my parents came and visited me a couple months ago, and we went and checked out new stuff. For example, we went to a local bookstore, and it was cool because it was, like, real vintage, and they had a lot of used books, and, the coolest part was they had this classic refrigerator in the back room, and when you open it up, it had all their cookbooks in it. Isn't that
Mm,
clever?
that is pretty cool.
I would never have found that if I didn't think like a tourist and just explore my hometown.
Man, that's good.
Yeah, there's all sorts of places to go to in your hometown. Maybe you have a museum. Maybe you have 2 museums. You could go to them.
What
Um,
if
i
what if I live in a hometown where the only thing we have is a one like four ways traffic light and just a bunch of old buildings that no one occupies anymore? How
See,
can I have a staycation there?
so if you have a Walmart, go hang out in the parking lot and wait until all the teenagers come by in their trucks and Jeeps to show them off, or you can hang out beside that stoplight and keep track of how many times it turns, yellow.
Man,
Yep.
that's incredibly boring.
I grew up in a small town, I know what to do.
Well, I have a few counterpoints.
I bet.
So we're back on the website tripsavvy.com. Again, vacation like a pro. And here is the title of the article: Is going on a road trip right for you? And this was updated, unfortunately, in the year 2020. So
Oh,
no,
no.
everyone read this and said, "Not for me. I'm staying home."
Well, they kinda had to say it.
Yep. Thanks, government. So here are some reasons to go on a road trip. You
Uh-huh.
are in charge. You control your departure time, arrival time, itinerary, and stops along the way. You don't have to pay attention to the train schedules or airline routes on your as you plan your trip. If you see something interesting on the side of the road, you can stop and take a look. This freedom and flexibility of traveling by car is perhaps the biggest perk of a road trip, and its value can't be overstated. Now, I will also disagree with this because
Okay.
I grew up with two brothers and a younger sister, an older brother, a younger sister, and a younger brother. And sometimes going on road trips, you've got to handle with my mom and stepdad. You've got that's six bladders to figure out.
Do I okay, just like you don't wanna imagine me in a Speedo, I wanna imagine I never heard the phrase 6 bladders.
You've got six P schedules to figure out. Is that
That's
better?
somehow worse.
But you and the thing is, my older brother, if as soon as he gets in the car, he does one of two things. He immediately falls asleep or he has to use the bathroom.
Oh,
And so
he
that part is just the worst. But
he should see a doctor.
I don't know. He is a state trooper now, and so all he does is sit in a car. So I'm very concerned with everybody on the road over in his county. But
Did you
just every
seriously just snitch on your brother?
It's okay. No one over there listens to this podcast. Um,
Good
but
for
I
now.
will say that recently I did take a trip with my family, and we visited some family in Florida, and that was about a 11 or so hour drive. Might have been longer, but we stopped in Mississippi along the way. But we traveled down there, driving through all the different cities and towns is always so cool, and then seeing all the little towns and stuff is always cool, and so that
Yeah.
was fun. So I will say that that is fun. But here's the second point: is you can change your mind. If you don't like a particular place, you can just leave.
No way.
Dude, I
I
know
don't
it's
believe it.
incredible. Trip Savvy is groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But they also bring out a really important point. You can
Uh,
see the real world.
the real world?
The real world.
Isn't my hometown also part of the world and real?
I don't know. It's really hard to say because Trip Savvy says that taking a road trip allows you to get off the beaten path and see actual communities and natural wonders, not just a train track or view from 36,000 feet.
What if what if I like the beaten path and just want to stay on it to comfort it because it's been beaten so much?
You and I wouldn't aren't too different then. But that's the,
No.
that. But here's the thing: meandering through the countryside is a great way to relax and find out what it's really like to live in a particular area. Farmers markets, local festivals, and state parks are yours to explore.
Look, I'll be honest. There is whenever I go home to Georgia to see my family,
Hmm.
the biggest thing I dread is the drive. For anyone who has traveled I-20 from uh, DFW all the way to Atlanta knows how boring of a drive it is. It's sad when the most excitement you get on that drive is the fact you get to go over a big bridge over the Mississippi River and that there's now a Bucky's in Leeds, Alabama and a Bucky's in Terrell, Texas. So that's the highlight. And Bucky's is the greatest gas station in the world, I would say.
I
Um,
concur.
yeah, I used to mock my dad for talking about it so much when he first came out here, taking my sister to school. And then I started doing the drive myself, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's nothing on this stupid road." So it's not a great road trip. And if I'm judging all road trips by that one highway, then road trips stink really
Well,
badly.
lucky for you, lifehack.org has 5 reasons why you should absolutely go on that road trip. And
Okay.
the first reason is number one, it's an opportunity to let go.
No, I gotta hold on to the wheel.
No, you gotta
I'm the
let
one
go.
driving.
You
No, I'm
By not
driving.
being consumed by hours and deadlines and the rules of the road, time will become your friend and no longer your enemy. This
You
is the key to bringing you the healing that you might need.
the healing.
It heals you driving 120 on a 75 mile per hour interstate
Look,
highway, just
hey,
blowing past that state trooper sitting on the side of the road. Guess what? You are letting go, and you're not letting this opportunity go.
we both know this is a lie because it did not heal your brother's sleep apnea and his bladder issues. Okay?
Well, granted, considering it was a vehicle of 6 individuals, uh, my my stepdad was a responsible driver and did not go over, I guess, too much over the speed limit. He does speed a lot, but
Was he healed when he drove?
so the fifth point is really one I want to. It's the one I want to bring out.
Yeah.
You receive an appreciation for life.
Well, maybe I don't want to appreciate life. Maybe I just want to be depressed in my staycation at home.
Look, man.
What?
Yes, you get to see new places, meet new people, learn new things. Yes, you get to make memories that will last a lifetime, and will uh, you get to make it with friends or
Oh
family.
no.
But that's not all. You get to
Oh,
chase the sunrises and sunsets, which are a gift of everyday life. Do you remember the
No.
last time your mind was shushed by the artful sunrise or sunset of a new place? The last
Yes.
time you felt a completely uninhibited breath of fresh air
I
fill
live in the
your lungs?
countryside. Yes. I have no issues with that.
Oh,
Yeah, here's the thing, Matthew, okay? Here's the thing. It said that it's good to go see other states and see how people live. Some states don't deserve to be visited.
wow, that is a bold statement.
Like,
What are some of those states, Mister Nathan?
what do you think? And hey,
Louisiana?
everybody, no, hey, New Orleans is there.
No,
But the
that's even
bayou's
worse.
there.
That's even
No,
worse.
the ba-
No,
you, you are going to insult all of our bayou listeners.
good. They should leave and find a better place to
No.
live, like Texas.
Wow. Someday we should come up with a tier list for all of the states in the United States of America.
I
And
can't do that because Texas will be S tier and everyone else will be in F tier. So,
yeah,
um,
I mean,
that's my
I'm
tier
cool with
list.
that. You suck. Stupid Texan.
So, speaking of road trips and other states that are inferior to Texas, we've got one more question that we're going to tackle. Nathan, what is this question?
Oh, it's my favorite question. Which is better, um, going to the Grand Canyon or just digging a big old hole in the backyard? Which one do you have, Matthew?
I have that we should visit the Grand Canyon.
Which means I'm totally for digging a big hole in the backyard.
Absolutely.
So, so why don't you start us off this time? Tell
Absolutely.
us what is the great thing about visiting the Grand Canyon?
Unfortunately, Trip Savvy did not have anything on the second page of Google for me,
Oh,
so it is
guess I
quite
win.
unfortunate. But I did have two travel blogs.
Oh,
Yes. One of them is called Full Suitcase.
okay.
And she says if you only have one day in the Grand Canyon and don't feel like planning your own itinerary, you can also book a Grand Canyon day trip with an organized tour. So she's pretty much selling
Okay.
herself short by saying if you only have a day, don't use my website. Go use the dumb Grand Canyon day trip with an organized tour because I am not the blog for you.
Yeah, she wants you to be in depth. Like she wants you to really enjoy
Absolutely.
your time at the Grand Canyon. And
Yep.
if you don't have time for that, just get a guide.
So this is a very long blog post. I didn't
Oh
actually
my
realize
gosh.
how long it is, but now I'm looking at the little cursor on the right side of my screen, and it is smaller than a dime. And
Is
so
there like
I'm
a too long didn't read type of thing at the bottom or something?
no,
Or
but
should
that's what this podcast is all about.
Oh no.
So, here's some stuff. The Grand Canyon is one of the most visited national parks in the USA, and there's a link I can click to check that fact. And I'm not going to.
Okay.
If you're fortunate, let's try that again. If you're fortunate enough to find yourself among the other 6 million annual visitors at the Grand Canyon National Park, there are several things you should know ahead of time. And then
Yeah.
she lists these several things, but I'm not going to read it. So, the Grand Canyon day trip, which rim should you visit?
Pacific.
Incorrect. You probably already know the Grand Canyon is huge. Needless to say, you won't be able to experience all of it in a day. If
Well,
you listen to this stupid blog, because you know what
yeah.
she doesn't say?
What?
She gives you a link to a helicopter tour.
Oh, that
Therefore,
I can see it
you
all.
can fly over the entire Grand Canyon and tour the whole shebang in one day. And so this maybe this article isn't very good. It contradicts itself.
Right.
Good
Yeah.
grief, there's so so if you have any questions about how to tour the Grand Canyon, full suitcase, uh, one day in the Grand Canyon, top sites, South Rim itinerary maps and tips by Yurga. That's your one to go to. It's way too long. I'm gonna go to this one's much shorter. This is from Jim Kaiser, who is an award-winning, and he's an award-winner photographer, and he has a full-color guidebook filled with insider tips on touring the Grand Canyon.
What's his name? Wait, wait, wait. Go back. What's his name again?
James Kaiser.
Oh my gosh, he sounds like a baron in World War II.
Well, let me tell you, he looks like a Bear Grylls,
Oh.
which
Oh.
is it's a word play off of Baron, but when I came out of my mouth, I realized that joke isn't funny. Anyways, and so the North
Oh.
Rim, even the South Rim, but the North Rim's a taller one, and so it's taller than the Great Pyramids of Giza. It's taller than the
Mhm.
Eiffel Tower.
Mhm.
It's taller than the Empire State Building, and it's taller than the Burj Khalifa or the Burj Dubai, which is the tallest building in the world. Because, as we said before, it's 6,093 feet deep.
Wait, okay. Okay. So, I think you're going to lose people with some of these numbers and heights. So, one of those things he said was it's taller than the rapper Wiz Khalifa. And
Yeah.
so if you can visualize in your mind, let's be generous, a 6 foot tall man, and then just imagine the Grand Canyon being way taller than that, I think you'll be able to imagine the Grand Canyon pretty accurately. It is
Well,
taller than famed rapper Wiz Khalifa.
indeed. Well, let me tell you some wildlife that you'll see at the Grand Canyon. You'll
Okay.
see the California condor.
Oh, that one?
Yes.
Oh, I
Not
usually just
the
like the
not the
flight
condors
of
from
the
From New
condors.
Zealand. You won't see the
Uh
flight
huh.
of the condors, but you'll see the California condor.
Okay.
You will also see a Grand Canyon rattlesnake.
Ooh, good
Yes.
for them. They got down there.
Yes. And this Grand Canyon rattlesnake is not just any rattlesnake that ended up at the Grand Canyon. They're like, it's a Grand Canyon rattlesnake. No, it is home to a beautiful pink rattlesnake found nowhere else in the world.
Oh, they're pink? It's
They
kind of
are.
girly. They're girly rattlesnakes. I'm not scared of them.
Wow. That's incredibly sexist of you.
No. I'm
So yeah, that's the Grand Canyon. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of numbers, whole bunch of names, and it's way cooler than a giant or just quote unquote big hole in your backyard. But anyways, what do you have to say to that?
well, okay, so starting off, so I talked to my sister, and sometimes I forget that something that's really hilarious to me, like just this absurd question of which is better, the Grand Canyon or digging a big hole in the backyard, isn't funny to everybody at first glance. So I told my sister about it, and I was like, "This is what we're going to talk about in a future episode," and I forgot that she had taken her honeymoon. Her and her husband, they went to the Grand Canyon
Oh,
for her honeymoon.
is that
And,
so?
yeah, and I told her what my stance was going to be, and she she did not laugh. She seemed quite agitated and annoyed. And, she was like, "You really believe that?" And I was like, "No, I mean, for the sake of the podcast, of course I believe it." But I had to reassure her, "No, I do not legitimately think it's better to build a giant hole in your backyard than it is to go to the Grand Canyon." I had to reassure her that I understood the majesty and, the star-spangled glory of the Grand Canyon, okay? And so, Rebecca, if you're listening, yes, I know the Grand Canyon is amazing. Um, and digging a hole in your backyard is silly, okay?
Well, if anything that our my previous articles have said, it's that you don't actually know that until you see the real world itself. And so I can tell you all these cool facts and numbers and how it's bigger than famed rapper Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
But as a good capitalist, you should go support the economy and go tour the Grand Canyon yourself to really see the beauty of a pink rattlesnake.
Yeah, but we're not done yet. I'm gonna tell you about this big hole in the backyard.
Okay.
Okay, so for me personally, I live in an apartment, and I don't really have a backyard per se. So me personally, I would get in trouble if I just go to my backyard and start digging a big old hole in the ground. Um, where I live, there's like a maintenance crew, and they would probably just fill it in quickly. Okay.
Well, have you
But for
tried though?
you, not yet. But for
Mm.
you, dear listener, maybe you have a backyard and you've been curious, what can I do with this thing? There's just grass and bushes, and it's so boring. You dig a big hole in the backyard. Look, Matthew, what draws in a crowd more than seeing a man digging a big old hole?
I would probably say something like a music festival. That'd probably draw a bigger crowd.
But imagine if they were digging a hole at the music festival. Do you think
Mm.
they would still watch the band? Or do you think they'd be like, let's watch this guy? He's digging a hole.
Is the music festival in your backyard?
Ooh, I could do both.
Oh,
Um,
snap.
Also, okay, so you dig the big old hole, all right? It's pretty great. It's something that you can be proud of because you put in the hard work. You
Mm,
know,
that's
you
true.
broke, you did the back breaking, shovel work. Hopefully, you're usually using a shovel, or you can go overboard, get a bulldozer in there, backhoe, something like that, and really dig out that hole in the backyard. Um, and then just think of the joy you just think of how impressed guests will be. You can go, hey, you want to see my big old hole in my backyard? And
And
they'll go,
I will
what?
and I will again reinforce the fact that only a creep would say, "You want to see my big old hole in the backyard?"
You gotta say the whole thing in case it's less creepy, you know. It's and you just take them outside and you just stand at the rim of the hole and you look in and you can both be in awe. And the best thing is whatever local wildlife you have, that's what's gonna be in the hole. You don't have
Dude,
to see no girly pink rattlesnake.
dude,
You
no, no, no. What if the pink rattlesnake was like the Grand Canyon's not cool anymore? I want to go to this dude's random big hole in his backyard.
Oh, even better, you can steal. Yeah, you can be like the relocation spot. Like you can be the Texas to Californians, like um they all come from the big old hole in the Grand Canyon. Just
Dude, the
to
Grand
your
Canyon's in Arizona.
It's a long trip. Maybe you should take a couple of them rattlesnakes from the Grand Canyon and put them in a bucket and bring them yourself. But anything could be in there: squirrels, chipmunks, anything, birds, worms, crawdads. If you're in the bayou, definitely crawdads. Alligators. It could be anything,
Oh man.
and you could watch it. You could plant stuff in the big old hole. Like it's not like the Grand Canyon because I think there's no plants there. It's in the desert.
Oh, there are plants there. Have you ever seen
I
pictures of it?
Yeah, and it just looked like there was no plants. It just looked like there was no plants at all.
Well, there are
Okay.
plants
Well,
there.
I only saw pictures of the walls where there were no plants.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but you could plant plants in your big old hole. Oh, here's the kicker, okay?
Mm.
Hey, what do you call swimming pools in people's backyards? Big old holes
I was
that
gonna
have
say swimming pools,
filled.
but that works too.
Yeah, that's because we shortened it. We shortened it from big ol' holes in the backyard filled with water to, "Hey, swimming pool. Can you fill the Grand Canyon with water? No."
So does that mean you actually have to go to a water park to enjoy water park things?
My thing brings all of my positions together. Dig the big old hole in your backyard, put a couple water slides there, and have a staycation at your own water park you made in your backyard. If I didn't just win this argument, then I don't know who did.
It would obviously be me.
Look, just because you did research and actually were prepared doesn't mean you win this round.
Well, I think the true winners of this episode are definitely all the websites and travel blogs that I have again advertised freely.
Yeah, they appreciate your business.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's cue that music. folks, thanks for listening to episode 4 of our podcast. It's been fun to just sit down and record these with my good friend. Our time together is always too short, but I will say that is always a joy to talk with him about stupid things and get upset over stupid things with him. And
Yeah.
it's great that you all get to hear how much fun we have together. And just wish I had a friend like Matthew/Nathan.
Aw, yeah. Maybe someday. Or if you're nice to us, we can be your friend.
Indeed. But the only way you can do that is if you talk to us, which we have an email for that. If you send an email to absurdargumentsforyou@gmail.com, we'll be able to see what you send us. And
Yeah,
that
and with that
email is,
email,
yes, please.
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were about to repeat it and say absurd arguments number 4, letter U. Do you want to do that?
You know what? You just did it. So here's the
Oh,
thing, though.
okay.
We have received our first email.
Hooray, our first email.
Yes. This was from a couple episodes ago, and it was sent in by my mother. So shout out to my
Aw.
mom.
Yeah, shout out to Mrs. Matthews' mom, Triple
Indeed.
M.
Triple M. And she writes, when I was a kid, there was a pretty popular movie called Cat from Outer Space. I even called into the radio station in the Dallas area where I lived and was the 10th caller and won a t shirt for the movie. And then she also said, loving the podcast. And so, thanks, Mom, for listening to my podcast. I
Uh,
appreciate it.
our podcast, Matthew.
Sure, sure.
I'm here as well.
Yeah, but you're not as important to my mom as I am.
I am
So,
an equal member of this podcast. Stop shutting me out.
so folks, if you want to get on the outro of our podcast, send us an email. That's appropriate, and we'll read it. Considering that we try to be family friendly, but our sick and twisted and dark humor doesn't always allow us to be that, and so it's a constant battle for us.
We will never swear unless we will never swear. I'll just keep it there.
Indeed.
Hey, also, hey, wait a second.
Hmm.
Don't we have some social media pages they can like and follow if they so desire?
We absolutely do. We have a Facebook and Instagram page now. And so what
Ooh.
we'll do is every time a new episode is released, we'll post a little snippet of it just to get you a little taste of what you'll hear in the episode. And that'll be released every time we upload a new episode. And so it's
Yeah.
just to help remind y'all that, hey, boost our stats and listen to our podcast.
Yeah, and if you can, leave a rating or, if you have friends and family and you like our podcast, you can share it with them. And if you hate our podcast and have enemies, you could share it with your enemies.
Absolutely. Because they'll probably have just as good a time as you can. And then you'll grow together and be all good friends. Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they will not. They hate
Well,
each other, Matthew. They're
just,
enemies.
people can change.
Not them.
Well, anyways, folks, the one thing that is changing is the listening of this podcast. And so that's all we have for this week. So, Nathan, do you have any parting words for our wonderful listeners?
Yeah, you should send me an email telling me I won this argument and I did great. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Or for me? Either one works.
Bye bye, everybody.
See you later.